Well, hey class, my name is Aaron Pennington, and I am from Queen Creek, Arizona. Actually, I live in Queen Creek, Arizona now. I used to live in Lexington, Kentucky. I moved out here to Arizona about a little over 5 years ago with my family. I have a wife named Emily. We've been married a little over 10 years. She is the love of my life. We have two kids, Jonathan, who is 2, actually 3, just turned 3, and then Lily, who will be 5 in December, and then we have another one on the way due in December as well. So fun times in the Pennington family. Right now, I'm the Queen Creek campus pastor for Central Christian Church. If you're not familiar with the multi-site church movement, we are a multi-site church, which means we are one church on many locations. I believe that's getting more and more popular, so you're probably familiar with it. We have 5 different campuses in which I am the campus pastor for one of those, our Queen Creek campus. I've been doing that for the last 3 years. I planted that campus, and God has taught me so much through that process, and it's just been a huge blessing to be a part of that, and just really looking forward to what God has in store in the future. Like I said, I'm originally from Lexington, Kentucky, so I grew up in Kentucky the majority of my life. My younger life, I really got away from the Lord. My mom did her best to raise us in the Southern Baptist Church, but made some poor decisions and got into some alcohol and drugs. Ended up getting a couple DUIs, even by the age of 19, which landed me in jail. And it was that moment in jail where I realized that that's not the person that God had called me to be. That's a place that I never wanted to end back up. And so I made one of the only promises that I've ever made to God and said, if you'll help me, I'll get away from this lifestyle. And so I actually have not drank since then. I don't have the theology that you can't drink anything. I know in moderation there's freedom in Christ, but for me personally, I've given up alcohol. And when it comes to my theology of preaching and kind of my core convictions, it really does come down to probably the most important thing to me in Christian ministry, and that's authenticity. People that are willing to be real, people that are willing to be vulnerable. I believe there's a lot of traction that can take place when you hear from spiritual leaders that are vulnerable with their own struggle. And I found that to be the case with even sharing some of my past struggles, whether it been the alcohol and the drugs, or even the struggles that I have today, being a good husband and being a good father, and letting people into those moments to see that I'm just as much on my journey with Jesus as they are, even though that I am their spiritual leader. And so when it comes to my core convictions about preaching, it's definitely delivering the gospel and delivering what God has called us to educate people with when it comes to His Word, but alongside of authenticity and realness, to let people see that they're not alone in their struggle, and it's okay to not be okay sometimes. So I would say that probably catches it in a nutshell, and looking forward to getting to hear your stories and your convictions and getting to know all of the classmates in this preaching class. So thanks, and we'll talk soon.